Hey, welcome to the post-game show. I'm at Levi Stadium. My name's Grant Cohn. If you never met me, the Niners just won a huge game. It was a must-win game. They were 0-1. They won by 20. They beat a division opponent that was in first place, and it's the worst day ever for the 49ers. I'm not smiling. It's not a good day. They won the battle, but at what cost? So let's talk about Kyle Shanahan first, and then we'll talk about Jimmy Garoppolo and Trey. I don't have a whole lot of topics, but I have a lot to say about each one. Let's give an honest assessment of Kyle Shanahan. I'm going to be very critical of Kyle right now, and I feel like I have license to do so because I warned him about this yesterday. If you read my I did a quality control yesterday. I spoke directly to Kyle. Kyle was in the meeting. I said, Kyle, I'm talking to you. These are the three things you got to do. The last one was do not use Trey Lance as a fullback. Do not use him as a battering ram between the tackles because if he gets hurt on a play like that, it's going to be your fault, Kyle. And guess what? Kyle did it 3 times in the first quarter plus as if to shove it in my face. I'm sure he didn't read my article, but it almost felt like, oh, you think I shouldn't do this? Well, watch me do it over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. And so what happened? The most predictable outcome you could think of. And a very, not a tragic outcome because he'll probably come back, but a terrible outcome. Kyle could have potentially ruined Trey Lance's career before it started. And I told him, don't use him that way. So let's talk about it. Obviously, you have to run Trey Lance. And afterward, Kyle Shanahan was very defensive and snarky when asked about why he called the plays he did. And I asked, why did you feel on 2nd and 8, that early in the game, when your running backs were running well, why did you feel compelled to call a quarterback run between the tackles in that situation? And he looked at me, because Kyle hates being questioned, even when he does ridiculous stuff. He looked at me and he said, would it have been better if it had been 2nd and 4? Kyle, Trey Lance just broke his leg. Don't be snarky with me. That's a fair question. I'm sure Trey Lance is wondering it too. What were you trying to gain on 2nd and 8 in the second quarter running Lance between the tackles? 4 yards? You can't tell me you thought you were going to get a first down running quarterback power. It's not like a draw. There's no deception. It's just it was a zone read, whatever. You ran in between the tackles on 2nd and 8 to get 4 yards. Hey, if you were losing, if it was to get a touchdown, if it was 3rd down to get a first down, I get it. You got to do that. But get 4 downs on 2nd and 8, potentially lose your quarterback for the year. Where is your risk-reward analysis? So obviously Kyle Shanahan made a huge mistake. His decision-making is terrible. We've talked about that. But I think what's too bad is that he showed no real remorse after the game. He was just defensive and snarky. And that makes me feel like he's never going to learn. I remember when Kevin Durant tore his Achilles because the Warriors kind of pushed him to come back early. Bob Myers came out and cried. He was sobbing because he felt so bad for what the organization did to Kevin Durant. Why doesn't that ever happen in football? Someone should feel bad for putting Trey Lance in that situation. He just followed directions. Calling those quarterback runs in the first quarter repeatedly was stupid. Say it. I was a mistake. That's my bad. Because, Trey Lance has started 4 games. You got him hurt twice, Kyle, using him as a battering ram. The second one was catastrophic. You got RG3 hurt. You ruined his career. Every quarterback you coach gets hurt. Most of them. And what's crazy is the way the league has evolved, all the rules are oriented to protecting quarterbacks. And yet Kyle Shanahan is like, oh, forget that. I'll use him as a fullback. None of the rules are geared to protecting fullbacks. So that's how Kyle Shanahan wants to use his quarterback. And when asked about the risk reward of using Trey Lance this way, he got real defensive. Like, do you ever watch other teams? Do you watch Buffalo? Yeah, I watch Buffalo. They don't call quarterback power for Josh Allen on 2nd and 8. And another thing, Josh Allen is 30 pounds heavier than Trey Lance. It's different running Josh Allen than running Trey Lance. Anyway, so Kyle had a million excuses, and he won. And he just may win the Super Bowl this year with Jimmy Garoppolo. I'm open-minded. But aren't you kind of looking at him sideways now? I picked him to win the Super Bowl this year. Now, the same coach every year. You're not going to win a Super Bowl. You're going to make the same mistakes every year. And how about this? Okay, so let's say they could win the Super Bowl with Jimmy. I'm open-minded. Let's say they don't. Let's say it's his freaking Groundhog's Day, and it's a repeat of last season, and they go to the playoffs, and Jimmy isn't good, and they fall short. What do they do next year? Do they go back to Trey? What if Trey isn't the same player? Trey started 4 games in the last 3 years. You got Jimmy, who right now doesn't seem good enough to win a Super Bowl. Then you got Trey coming off a catastrophic leg break, ankle break, fracture, and he hasn't played much in the last 3 years. What if you need a third quarterback? What if you need a whole new quarterback? What if neither of them is the answer? Do you trust Kyle Shanahan to pick the next quarterback? Jed, if this team falls short, and they may win the Super Bowl with Jimmy, if they fall short and Jimmy's the same guy and Trey isn't quite looking great coming back, Kyle's like, it's okay. We have no first-round pick next year, but trust me, Jed, I'll pick the quarterback. I got it. How can you trust Kyle? Which is why I feel like his stock is way down right now. Even the people that were his biggest supporters that thought he was a genius who never made mistakes, look at him now. He can't develop a young quarterback. He can't pick quarterbacks. He can't keep them healthy. Any quarterback, vet, young. It's starting to look like Kyle Shanahan is a play caller, not a quarterback developer, not a head coach, not a general manager, a play caller. And even his play calls are strange. I would think if there was a real head coach on this team and Kyle Shanahan called quarterback power on 2nd and 8, that dude would have been like, what? Veto. What are you doing? It's the second quarter, Kyle. It's 2nd and 8. You kidding me? I don't know, man. I mean, Jed is never going to fire Kyle Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan has a lifetime contract on this team. What would Eddie DeBartolo do? If Kyle's like, Eddie, man, Jimmy ain't the answer. Give me 3 first-round picks. I'm going to trade him for this 21-year-old kid from North Dakota State. I'm going to sit him for a year, and then I'm going to bring him in year 2, and he's going to be totally unprepared because I didn't play him, and then I'm going to use him as a fullback, and then he's going to break his leg. Eddie DeBartolo would fire that guy. Are you kidding? Jed wouldn't. I'm not saying fire Kyle, but the things this guy gets away with. What happened out there today was his fault. He took no responsibility for it, and he's never going to learn from it. We've seen him do this to quarterbacks over and over again. And he's like, well, it's, cost of doing business in football. I don't know. Even if he didn't feel it, he should have shown more remorse at his post-game press conference for Lance because that was Kyle's fault. And I told him, don't use Trey that way. I don't know, man. I think part of being a coach is understanding how important it is to protect your quarterback because your quarterback is your team. And Kyle doesn't seem to get that. His quarterbacks get hurt all the freaking time. Oh, I spent 3 first-round picks on this guy. Let's use him as a fullback. I have a feeling that people are like, oh, Kyle didn't want Trey. He wanted Mac Jones. I don't think he wanted either of them, frankly. I think Kyle wanted Matthew Stafford. And I think he was getting around to making that move with Matthew Stafford. And I think Sean McVay beat him to the freaking punch. I think Sean McVay heard that Kyle was thinking about meeting up with Stafford. And McVay was like, oh, word? Let me get him right now. Boom. And Kyle's like, oh, snap. I was at dinner with my wife. What happened? Oh, snap. Now he's on the Rams. What do I do? Oh, it's cool. I'll get Deshaun Watson. Oh, wait. That's not an option. Oh, it's cool. I'll get Aaron Rodgers. Oh, wait. That's not an option. Damn. All right, let me just get a rookie. We'll figure it out. That's what I think happened. It wasn't that he had a real conviction on any young quarterback. I think he wanted Stafford. I think McVay beat him to the punch, and Kyle panicked. And now you got this. Now you got the Jimmy Garoppolo show. It's Groundhog's Day. I feel like Bill Murray. You know what I'm saying? It's like, again. But that's a good movie, Groundhog's Day. My parents took me to see it when it was, I was like, well, when it came out, like 95, I was 7. I didn't get that it was a comedy. I started crying. I was like, it's enough. Every day is the same. They had to take me out. I was so upset. Good movie, though. Groundhog's Day. Now we're watching it in real life. Insane the Membrane says, waiting for Ian Rappaport to announce Jimmy Garoppolo's 6-year extension, $6.5 million insurance policy. Honestly, Jimmy played it right. If you need to go to a place where you have the best chance to win, the best chance to play, which quarterback is most likely to get hurt? The one playing for Kyle Shanahan. Straight up. Haha says, Grant, love you, brother, but I can't watch what this team is going to serve up for the next 15 games. Glad to have my Sundays back, free Trey. I mean, I wouldn't say that. Keep watching because I want people to keep watching my channel and stuff. You know what I'm saying? But I wouldn't say the season's over. I mean, they're going to win a lot of games and go to the playoffs, and we'll see if Kyle Shanahan, can improve. But all right, hold on. Let me get through all of these, and then I'll get back to my show. Haha, got you. There's hell of these. Okay, hold on. Ricky says, I don't understand how Kyle can switch up so much when Jimmy is in. With Lance, he's afraid to go for it on fourth at the goal line, but goes for it on fourth and 3 times with Jimmy with the lead. What does that say to you, Ricky? Again, I don't think Kyle Shanahan ever really felt that strongly about Trey Lance. I think he wanted Stafford. I think he blew it. I think McVay beat him to the punch, and Kyle had to work on a plan B. It could have been Mac Jones. It could have been Trey Lance. It wouldn't have been Stafford. I have no idea where Kyle's coming from with this, but all I know is anytime he has a quarterback, he finds a way to be like, oh, that's not the guy I wanted. Who cares? It's your team. If you wanted Stafford, you should have beat McVay to the punch. You can't use this, oh, it's not the quarterback I wanted. It's year 6. You're the head coach and the general manager and practically the owner. No more excuses. So you didn't want Trey Lance? You didn't trust him on 4th and 1? No, who cares? Be a better coach. Nope or Dope Review says either Kyle can't draft a quarterback, develop one, or coach one, but he knows how to get one hurt. Disgusted. After a win by 20. Gregory Young says coaching malpractice, fire banana hands. It's never been the quarterback. It's been Kyle as the real arsonist. Isn't that crazy? Doesn't it feel like we just got to the end of a really long movie and it was a thriller and there was a twist and it was like, oh, it was Kyle all along. Kyle was the arsonist. It's like a mystery called The Arsonist. And the whole time you're thinking it's Jimmy and it's like, no, it was Kyle. It was Kyle. Raise your hand if you think Kyle's going to win a Super Bowl as a head coach. I don't see any hands. Rich says, get ready for the Jimmy farewell tour. Fire Kyle. Now, you really think he's leaving? He might get a lifetime contract. Nathan says, I never felt so sick after a win. Kyle took no responsibility for running your franchise quarterback. Jeff Wilson and the TDP were making good gains. Back to banana hands, just like RG3. So stupid, so mad right now. Yeah, Nathan, how you think Jed York feels? Kyle's like, man, look, we missed out on Stafford, but it's cool. I'm going to trade for this kid. I'll develop him. I'll make him good. Jed's like, okay, I trust you, Kyle. You're the greatest. How you feel now, Jed? Did you make it to half? Did you make it past halftime? Did you leave? Yair says, we just saw Trey last game as a starter. By the end of the season, the Niners will have to choose between extending Jimmy or keeping rolling with injured Lance. And we all know the answer for it. Well, what if neither one is the answer? Extending Jimmy next year? Not a great answer. Starting Trey Lance next year, coming off an injury in 4 starts in 3 years? Not ideal. What do? Do you trust Kyle to figure it out? I don't even know what to do. Ethan says, Kyle needs to go. What good is being an offensive genius if you're going to get your quarterback hurt? There's other coaches who can use Trey well. Yeah, I'm sorry, man. He's got to be the dumbest genius of all time. He's a genius, smart guy. But of the geniuses, got to be the dumbest. What kind of genius runs their quarterback up the middle on 2nd and 8, man? What kind of genius does that? Maybe the smartest geniuses. I don't know. Gold-blooded says, Kyle, do you watch other teams? What should you have said? Do you have a good online like those other teams? I wasn't asking those questions, but yeah, that's a good one. I like that. But your job as a journalist isn't to get into a full-fledged argument with the coach at the press conference. Your job is to answer questions. His job is to ask questions. His job is to answer questions, not to get snarky. I thought the tone wasn't in line with the severity of what happened to Trey Lance. David says Lance didn't deserve this. I hope he fully recovers and has a successful career on a different team. Way too many smiles on the sideline once Jimmy G took over. Yeah, how did Lance deserve this? He got drafted by a team that didn't want him and didn't have a plan to develop him and broke him. I feel so sorry for Trey Lance. Everyone's like, oh, this is the best situation for a young quarterback. By far the worst situation you could ever imagine. It was unfair to him. And honestly, if Kyle Shanahan is a true coach, a true teacher, a true mentor of younger people, he'd feel terrible right now. Any real coach would feel really bad right now and responsible. Ricky says, broadcast asked Banana Hands how much of the playbook did he have to throw out, and he said most of the run game plays were thrown out. Was most of the run game plays QB runs? What the actual F, Kyle? I guess they were. What a terrible game plan without Elijah Mitchell, and yet predictable. Nathan says, Trey never had a chance. Kind of funny how the O-line started blocking with Jimmy and they're praying for Trey. Oh, I'm going to talk about that just next. If Jimmy would have been cut like he should have, would Kyle have used Trey like a fullback? Did he not learn anything from last QB he ruined, RG3? Good question, and clearly no. Kyle learned nothing. I have a problem with Kyle and his dad. I feel like they use injuries as an excuse. Well, guy got hurt. You can't fire me. Hey, babe, there were injuries. That's why I have a losing record. You should work harder to protect your players, particularly your quarterback. NG49 says Kyle should officially be on the hot seat. A great play designer does not make him a play caller. Now we are stuck knowing our ceiling. He's ruining Trey, if not already ruined him. Yeah, I mean, to call him a great play caller is a stretch. He's a great play designer. But calling a QB run between tackles on 2nd and 8 is not a great call. KTVU shouted you out for grilling Kyle BTW. Well, I love KTVU. I used to work for them. They're a great, great television station. Watch them. Haha says, I thought we were different than the Cowboys, but we're just being used like little Jerry uses his fans. The goal is money, not Super Bowls. I've been saying that for years covering this team, and I've been trying to hold York's feet to the fire, but they're just happy to be respectable after the 2 years with Tom Sula and Kelly. Oh, we might make the playoffs. People think Kyle's a genius. Good. All right. Gabe Rocha says, how was Kyle expecting Trey to get better without letting him throw the freaking ball? Also, why did Juice reference you in the presser earlier? My phone went off. I had to get the hell out of there. That's why. My phone started malfunctioning. Yeah, I mean, you didn't play him last year, and you thought he was going to get better. Then you get him this year. It's like, oh, that didn't work. Now I got to use him as a fullback because I didn't develop him last year. Well, I told you to play him last year. That was pure coaching malpractice. Negligence, malpractice. He should have to have a freaking meeting with Jed. Jed should ream him. Lorenzo says, Grant, fabulous question at Kyle today. Thank you. I was there. Why would he make such a stupid call? The NFL knows what Jimmy is. Season is over. I don't know, man. Because he's stubborn? Because he's not as good as people think he is? How about that? Because he's not as good as people think he is. He has a losing record. What's the difference between Kyle Shanahan and Bill O'Brien? That's another guy who was an offensive genius who had a job for a very freaking long time and did nothing with it. Niners daddy said Grant crushed Kyle, got Trey injured. Can't stand how arrogant Kyle is and thinks none of this is his fault. I feel the season is wasted now. How do you have faith in a guy who never thinks anything's his fault? People make mistakes. If you don't learn from them, you make them again. Corey Wiggs says, honestly, what's so different from what the Bills and Ravens do with their quarterbacks? Lamar just ran 78-yard keeper. It's the situations. You've watched Russell Wilson, right? They would never call quarterback power for Russell Wilson. It's when you least expect it. Third down, quarterback draw. It's a surprise. It's not a steady diet. You kidding? Mario Gonzalez says, sick of this. Any other coach would love to have quarterback like Trey, not Kyle. He runs him into the ground. Trey is 10 times better. Kyle needs to go. F Kyle. Wow. Are you hearing this, Jed? This is how your fan base feels, Jed. Damian Jasso says, Grant, even though we lost Trey for the season, I still feel confident about the rest of the season, and we have a better secondary than we had last year. You should feel confident this team is going to win a lot of games. Jacob Mayhew says, hope Trey demands a trade and kicks the Niners' ass when he plays them. I'll happily cheer. Fire Kyle, fire, free Trey Lance. It's crazy how Niner fans feel right now. I totally get it, man. You'll probably feel different tomorrow, but after a game, I understand. Fire Jed, bring back Harbaugh. Harbaugh would know what to do with Trey Lance, I think. Alex says, overrated, less injuries, picks, 2 Super Bowl wins without him. Too many good players. He's the problem. Get him out of here. Okay. J-Rod5 says, I think Kyle has to go at this point and bring in a coach who was 100% behind Trey and is willing to let him grow and develop him properly. What if Trey's ruined? What if Trey runs a 4.8 after this injury? I don't know. This was a really bad thing that happened today. What if he never is the same? True Boxing King says making the playoffs and getting low picks is not good enough. Why are people happy with just that? I'd rather play Brock and see what we got than go with Jimmy G. I hear you, man. Official BNA Munich 88 says, and Kittle is magically healthy again. Oh, who could have seen that coming? Devin Smith says, why does everyone call Kyle a genius when he never has won anything? Terrible play calling. Because his last name is Shanahan. That's why I call him Banana Hands. He hasn't earned the Shanahan moniker yet. His dad is a Super Bowl champion, and Kyle is not. Dominic says, Trey never stood a chance on this team. So sad. It is you're going to have to wait. Yep, agree. Michael Young says, we don't score enough points for Kyle to be called a genius. That is also true. Smack Jones says, Maine, this team has some morality problems. Ooh, I'm with you on that. Rodrigo says, trade Kyle, Kittle, and Jimmy to rebuild around Trey. Trey is broken. Do you understand how catastrophic this is? We have no idea what his recovery is going to be like. Can't believe this happened. And I warned him. Eddie D would have fired Kyle after the game or at halftime. Unreal. Few more. Almost caught up. Quotitude says, quit. Oh, dude says, but it was a play that many teams run. You guys should watch them more often. What an absolute joke. Guy has zero empathy, zero accountability, all effing ego. Absolutely sickening, man. Yeah, man, to say that stuff when Lance is like, going through what he's going through, like, dude, at least fake it. Yeah, maybe that wasn't the right call. Maybe that wasn't the right call. That's what you say. Easy Tino says, when Kyle called Lance a kid in the press conference, that showed his lack of respect for Lance. He's not your little brother, Kyle. Lance family, save your son. Save your son. Imagine if you were Lance's parents. How would you feel about Kyle right now? Mike got the gun. Now Trey has to be a rookie third year. It's Kyle could write the book on how not to develop a quarterback. Why'd you want him if this was gonna be how you developed him? Flav says never wanted Trey to get hurt. Roster best with him as a backup, but if Kyle never ran him, Grant would still be blaming him for using him like Jimmy. Lose for Kyle, praying for Trey. I disagree with you, Flav. I made it real clear. I wrote it before the game. You can't say that I'm hindsight right here. I wrote it before the freaking game. Thank you for your $9.99, Flav, and you're wrong. Corey, $2. Thank you very much. Rich says, who's better now, Jimmy G or Kyle? Who cares? Neither one's good enough. Dustin the Gale says, I boycotted the Niners for a bit when they got rid of Harbaugh for philosophical differences. Getting the same feeling now after seeing careless they are with Trey and taking no responsibility. I feel you, man. Ishmael says, Kyle Shanahan gets every running back and every quarterback hurt. Junior General sending troops into machine gun fire. Jimmy Garoppolo likely won't last the season either. Agree. It's terrible. Mr. Meaner says, everyone excited for fun, run, slant, interception all year? We've seen this movie. It's Groundhog Day. Raheem says, I love the Niners, but for Trey's sake, I hope we lose. That is, man, I've never seen a fan base this upset, and I get it. Kelly says, now we can tank for more high Now we can tank for more high-pick running backs. And when they take a quarterback, they're going to use him as a running back anyway. Love your grilling on Kyle. He was stupefied, says Thomas Dela Cruz. He should be prepared for these questions. He acts like no one's going to ask. How dare you ask me that question? Who are you, man? You haven't won a Super Bowl. Answer the question. Do you think the Niners should draft a quarterback in the draft? With what pick? They don't have a first-round pick. They're in a tough spot. James Williams says, there goes our 3 first-round draft picks. Unbelievable. There goes next year's first-round pick. Already hurt. Crazy, man. Crazy. Chris says, you wanted Lance to start because of ability over Jimmy. Now blame Kyle for using him exactly how he was meant to be played. Even the Niners now have a Super Bowl-ready team. Can you not admit defeat? Chris, it was stupid to run a quarterback between the tackles on 2nd and 8. It was stupid. It was malpractice. It was negligence. You can run a quarterback, but you got to pick your spots. Okay? It was stupid, but thank you for your $10. Hey, Sue says, Grant, I remember you did call this before the season even started. Was it me or Jimmy throwing throws that Trey could have made? Yeah, Jimmy didn't do anything special in this game. Lorenzo says, sucks Trey is hurt. What about win bigger than TL? I'm going to get there. I'm just answering all these. Mike McGlinchey seemed happy to see Lance hurt. I wouldn't say that. That's really, really hard to say. Football and Crab Cake says, what does Don Yee do now? Jimmy ain't no backup. The coach says, how was this on play calling? Trey ran the ball twice. Injuries on the third run. Injuries happen. You literally warn about everything, Grant. Take your victory lap. You're just inviting the mob. Love you. Man, Coach, I love you too, but I keep explaining it. What was the upside on running Trey Lance between the tackles repeatedly? Was it necessary to win this game? No. The running backs were running well. Running in between tackles 2nd and 8, was it necessary to pick up 4 yards? No. Stupid call. Thanks for the candor. Daniel says, petition to fire Kyle D'Amico Ryan's interim head coach. I'm not going that far. Philip Wilson says, at this point, our defense will have to play damn near flawless to win us a Super Bowl. Absolutely no mistakes because we don't have a quarterback that can shoot it out with Mahomes or Josh Allen. Yeah, that's been the Niners' problem for like 5 years. McDaniels was the genius, not Kyle, says Sal Jeezy. McDaniels went to Yale. Kyle's dad coached in the NFL. Yale, dad was a coach. Who's a genius? Just saying. Kyle can't even make his subject and verbs agree. You tell him he's a genius? I'm sorry. A lot of these. T.O. come back from a similar injury. Trey is younger and could have beat that time by 2 weeks. I'll have faith. Good. I'm glad. Hope so. Trey didn't care. Trey didn't care when Trey went down. He walked by. I didn't see that. Seth Harvey says, did you hear Juice in the presser, Grant? This team needs an overhaul. He said it felt weird with Trey and natural when Jimmy controlled the offense. Sad. It is sad. Flav says Trey has been injured 3 times in the last 5 games or something. Might just be injury prone. If Niners listen to me, he'd still be healthy and helping this team as a backup. But yeah, I'm wrong. Flav, you're an idiot. But I love you. You're an idiot, though. But I love you. Centennial G says, I hope we get blown up this season, real talk. You RG3 this guy and have running backs, and you're using your quarterback that has more talent, more yards than Jimmy G in a monsoon. And this organization just set Trey back years. This organization just set itself back years. Jimmy's not the answer. Trey might have been the answer. Now he might never be the answer, and they might have to get a third quarterback with no first-round pick and a coach who can't pick them or develop them. Otherwise, they're in a great spot. Jonathan Chavez says, we all know Trey is watching. Stay positive, Lance. Yeah, stay positive, man. We're all pulling for you. Gene says, thank you for holding Kyle accountable. Don't stop. I try, man. Miko says, can't believe how rude Kyle Shanahan is. Fire him. Neil says, this might all go to Jed. Choose Balky over Harbaugh, allowed Lynch and Bananas to draft Solomon Thomas over Patton Deshaun, and now this mess. Yeah, when you miss on Patton Deshaun, it's hard to come back from that. Vic says, if you're regularly getting high draft picks, you have the talent to win. We have underperformed in this era because of poor coaching and conditioning. I agree. Okay, keep going. Let's go. So what's interesting is Trey Lance leaves. Jimmy Garoppolo comes back in, and the Niners don't miss a beat. You'd think usually and normally in that circumstance, a quarterback gets hurt like that, deflating. Didn't happen. In fact, the Niners picked it up. I'm not saying they prefer to play with Jimmy Garoppolo. All I'm saying is this season's not over. You see that this team believes in itself when Jimmy Garoppolo is on the field, and I don't get it. Because we know how this movie ends. It's Groundhog's Day, but they really love the ride with Jimmy. This team, remember, they're losers when Jimmy doesn't play. We're like 8-30 when Jimmy isn't playing. Jimmy's there. They're not losers anymore. They win some of the time. They like the way it feels. It's a good feeling. If they don't win the Super Bowl, okay, only one team wins the Super Bowl every year. I think they're cool being good, not great with Jimmy Garoppolo. So, you saw it. Jimmy Garoppolo threw that pick. Mike McGlinchey almost tackled him on the field. Gave him a big bear hug. I mean, afterward, Deebo Samuel said he was heartbroken for Trey Lance. Everyone else was just basically like, it's football, which is fair. But if you think this team is going to go in the tank because Trey Lance got hurt, they're not. In fact, they actually this might even bring out the best, not because they don't like Lance, but because it's adversity. They know Jimmy Garoppolo. Everyone's betting against him now, and this is where they're comfortable. No one thinks we're good enough. We'll prove them wrong. I would not write off the Niners this year. And again, we've all said Jimmy's not good enough to win a Super Bowl. That's why Trey's here. Funny things happen in life. This team is better than last year's team in certain ways. They got better cornerbacks. D'Amico's in year 2 as a defensive coordinator. They have really good things going on this team. Their defense just shut out an opponent. This is a team that's going to go to the playoffs as long as Jimmy stays healthy and might even win playoff games. So it's worth watching the year. It's not like the Niners are going to lay down. It's just going to be really interesting. If they go to the playoffs and Jimmy has a winning season, do they extend him? That would be a bad decision. So I don't know. All I know is that this team did not go in the tank when Trey Lance got hurt. Actually, quite the opposite. And I'm not judging them for that. They've played with Jimmy. They know Jimmy. They're confident with Jimmy. They said it. And now they get to prove it. So if you're a fan of this team and a fan of winning, that's a good thing. Let me see. You guys are so pissed. I get it. I do. Hold on. John Hawk says, makes sense now where this team has acted so entitled for years. Starts at the top. Head coach has zero accountability and players following his lead. His answer to your question, one after equals embarrassing. Yeah, I thought it was embarrassing. He could do better. It's easy to give a gracious answer and not do that. But if Kyle never takes accountability because he's too good, then that sort of sets the tone, right? Well, Kittle's good. He doesn't have to take accountability. Nick Bosa's good. It's not his fault. Whose fault is it? The quarterback. Trey's fault. Nick Mullins' fault. It's always the quarterback's fault. Double B Studio says Jimmy don't have a good O-line like last year. He don't. He really don't. Is Jimmy not one of the worst postseason quarterbacks we've marked out there? Yet this fan base still thinks he's the answer, and so do our players. It's asinine. I know. The Jimmy Garoppolo era in San Francisco was fascinating, and it's never going to end. It's September 18th, 2022, and Jimmy Garoppolo is the starting quarterback for the 49ers. Kidding me? DJ says, I told you Kyle won't win a Super Bowl. He won't own his shit. Yeah, to win a Super Bowl, you got to own your shit. Peyton Manning should coach the Niners. I don't think he wants to do that. That's a lot of work. I'll do it. Kim says, since the national media and Jimmy Stan said Trey was holding the team back, we better win the Super Bowl ASAP. That's a good point. Daniel says, good thing I still have Jimmy jersey. Play perfect and we'll win the Super Bowl in spite of the worst fourth quarter QB of all time. No mistakes, like tar drops. Hey, I'm glad you kept that. That was an act of faith. King Geo says this fan base is sad. You want to lose? You want to lose despite Kyle? The Super Bowl window is literally still open as we speak. Who's available better than Kyle anyway? I don't know. Someone with a winning record. Someone who knows how to like pick quarterbacks, develop quarterbacks, keep them healthy. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. Flav says, "Why are you so angry but claim not to be a fan? It's weird." I'm not angry. I feel bad for Trey Lance. I think you should feel bad for Trey Lance. I don't think you do. I think a lot of Jimmy Garoppolo fans are pretty giddy right now, which is disgusting. And I feel like Kyle doesn't feel bad enough for what happened to Trey Lance, so I do. I'm the empathetic one today. But thanks for your $5. M. Niner says, another season with Jimmy G and his ugly, mediocre play. What a shame. The only thing worth watching is the Niners D. Yep. I agree. Shulo says now Rita has to draw for the whole year. I was thinking about that. Poor Rita. She started it. Now she has to finish. Also, who noticed how happy Jimmy was when he got in the field? Trey seemed happy about it too. Team. I mean, I don't blame Jimmy for being happy to play. Luis D says, thinking logically and not emotionally like most of these fools in the comments, odds Jimmy doesn't get injured are not in their favorite thoughts. Yeah, the odds are that Brock Purdy is going to be playing sooner. I mean, not sooner, but eventually. Mario says, what really pissed me off besides Trey going down, Kyle Juszczyk said when Jimmy was in, it felt like Niner football. You kidding me? I know, man. Couldn't you guys wait like a day before saying that stuff? Couldn't you wait like a day? Like Trey just broke his leg. He's thinking like, what if I never come back? And the Niners like, it felt so great. Okay. I guess the last thing I want to talk about is Trey Lance's future. There's no guarantee he comes back from this. He could. And there's no guarantee what he'll be like when he comes back. Will he still be a good athlete? I mean, a lot of people think he wasn't fast enough as is, although he's faster than Josh Allen. What effect is this going to have on him? Because frankly, Jimmy Garoppolo was never the same after he tore his ACL, right? Before he tore his ACL, he was running around, extending plays, creating things off schedule. After he tore his ACL, he stands in one spot, and if the ball doesn't come out in 2 seconds, he gets sacked or throws a pick. That's what he is now, and that's why he's not good enough. So what's Trey going to be like when he comes back? Is he going to hesitate running? Is he going to be as fast? Is he going to be as good? And it's not just like what condition will he be in. Now, he missed 2020 because of a pandemic. He missed 2021 because Kyle Shanahan wanted to play Jimmy Garoppolo one more time. And now he's going to miss 2022 because of a broken ankle. What's that going to do for his development? Can he become the next Josh Allen after essentially being on the couch for 3 years in his early 20s? Not ideal. Now, Aaron Rodgers was on the sideline for 3 years behind Brett Favre. It could be done. Steve Young was on the sideline for a very long time. But is Trey Lance going to be the starter next year when the offseason starts? I don't know. The Niners have a whole quarterback question now. They might have to get a new quarterback next year. Someone who's not Trey or Jimmy Garoppolo. They have no idea. So that's not great. But they won today. They won a football game, 27-7. That's great. But now they have really huge questions about the future of their franchise. They sacrificed the future of their franchise for 4 yards on 2nd and 8. And now they got to figure out if they need a new quarterback. Maybe it'll be Jimmy. Maybe we were all wrong about Jimmy. He goes out and is an MVP this year, wins the Super Bowl. I'm guessing that won't happen, but it could. If it's not Jimmy and it's not Trey, what's the answer? Brock Purdy? First-round pick next year? Do you understand how catastrophic it is getting Trey Lance hurt now? They can't replace him for 2 years. They can't replace him for 2 years. There was some incentive to keep him healthy. It's like if you drafted him in round 5 or whatever, if he was Taysom Hill, yeah, whatever, use him as a running back. He's your first-round pick for 3 years. Gone. I don't know. Someone should have told him, though. No one told him, be careful with Trey Lance. No one said, hey, don't use him as a fullback. No one said that. So I don't give Kyle Shanahan any grief because had someone said it beforehand, you could be a second guesser now, but no one did. Oh, wait. I did. Hold on. I'll take a few more questions and then I'll bounce. Okay. Crazy, man. Jay Good says, what does the future hold for Trey in your opinion? Does Jimmy get re-signed? Don't know. I guess we'll have to see. I guess that's what the next 6 months are all about. But if Jimmy's not the answer and Trey's never the same, who's the next quarterback and who's picking him and who's developing him? Not Kyle. Can't be Kyle. And if it ain't Kyle, then how do they keep him as a coach? Breaking San Francisco QC coach Grant Cohn to become the new head coach for the 2023 season. Thank you. A lot of people I want to thank, starting with J-Rod. Patek says Mooney is the best player on this team so far. He's good. He's damn good. This team is good, man. This team's going to win a lot of games. I'm just saying. Jay Sports Enthusiast says, Grant, do you like Kittle? Sometimes I feel like him and Jimmy rub you the wrong way. You think Kittle missed the game on purpose not to play for Trey? No, I don't think that. Absolutely not. I think he's hurt, and I don't know Kittle, so I'm not friends with him. I'm not friends with the players. Kittle seems like a person. I respect that for being, having a face and a name. Promote D'Amico how the Bucs promoted their DC. Whew, I see what you mean. Thomas Delacruz says, what are the chances Jimmy Garoppolo outduels Mahomes and Herbert? I don't know, man. I mean, he's beaten Aaron Rodgers by handing off. Trey area lasted about 5 quarters. Yeah, thanks, Kyle. Trey M says, Trey didn't deserve this. I can't really celebrate. I agree. It's pretty rough. Trey did not deserve this in any way. Double J says, Grant, please make my day again and do the Jimmy Garoppolo show thing. Since I'm getting tattooed, make me laugh. The Jimmy Garoppolo show thing? What the? Good luck with your tattoo, man. That seems so painful. My brother got one, though, too. Kelly says, how much will Jimmy Garoppolo get on his new contract? $8. Sean says, you started saying something about the O-line blocking and Kittle health. Please continue. Did I? Yeah, I mean, the O-line isn't as good as it was last year. Kittle looks like a glorified wide receiver. He looks like he's 225 pounds. He's hurt all the time. I don't know. Hard to say what's going to happen there. You think I'm happy Trey got injured? Saying that is disgusting. Too bad you can't use some of the money I give you to buy some class. Praying for Trey. All right, Flav. Because you're the classy one. That's right. The coach says, hate to bring this up, but the main reason for getting Trey was the money. This injury is burning through that rookie deal. So when it's time to pay him, do we? Just another layer. That's a great point. Right? The thing with Trey was, okay, well, he's a project. And he may not be as good as Jimmy Garoppolo, but he's cheaper, and you can build this team around him, put a super team, and we can carry Trey. But you didn't do that. You never used the cap savings to put a team around him. You kept Jimmy Garoppolo's contract last year. You cut it this year, but didn't use the cap savings on new players. You just extended guys. And so now when Trey's healthy, which could be 2 years from now, if he plays well, you got a stupid decision. You got the same situation you're in with Jimmy 4 or 5 years ago, where you got 10 starts, and now you got to make a decision on the future. How do the Niners keep repeating history? Coach, love you, man. Great call. It's so complicated what's going on right now. Sean says, I feel bad for Trey because he never felt comfortable sliding feet first. He prefers to dive head first. I can understand why. Now this is on Kyle. Ain't no sliding on a quarterback power on 2nd and 8 between the tackles, man. Once you do that, you're a running back. At that point, you just got to get hella low. Abu Marco 23 says the biggest risk was sitting Lance in the first year is him getting seriously injured in the second year. The worst case scenario just hit. They fumbled a real opportunity to have a game changer. Fumbled it. And now where do they go? Hope that Jimmy is better than what they thought he is. The players in the field didn't show much concern for Lance and extra happy for Jimmy when scored a TB, said Gabriel. A lot of people seem to be noticing that. Philip says, I'd request a trade if I were Trey. Is he in a position to do that? I feel you, though. Muweed says maybe we get 2019 Niners again this year, trying to be optimistic. Possible. Thing is, that team lost the Super Bowl. Miguel says, F Kyle. His play calls for Trey were criminal. Criminal! Dre Dean says Trey will and should never start for Shanahan again. This was negligence. They need to fire Kyle and go after Lamar next year. Lamar, huh? Now that's a solution. Now you're talking. Now you're talking. Any chance Lance comes back in the postseason? I was thinking maybe, but Kyle said no. But I guess they got to make the postseason first. James says at least we got a glass quarterback with no backup. Hey, man, Brock Purdy might be better than Jimmy. Who knows? James Williams says the owner needs to come out and talk about how devastating this injury is to affirm his commitment in Trey. Eddie D would. Jerry Jones would. But I guarantee you Jed won't. Woo! Man, it's 2 weeks into the season. 2 weeks, and we're already here. Crazy. Next week, Denver, I'll be there. Don't check out on me now. The season's just getting crazy. We have to see what Kyle Shanahan does. This is when he's at his best. When everyone calls him stupid and says he doesn't know what he's doing, he usually puts together 2 or 3 good months. So, Kyle, You saw what your fans thought of you tonight. How are you going to respond? You just ruined Trey Lance, at least for now. Can you redeem this with Jimmy Garoppolo or Brock Purdy? We'll see. Pressure's on you, Kyle, to redeem yourself and this team. Devin Smith says, stop giving me money. I'm leaving. National media making Jimmy out to be the savior when was mediocre in the second half. He was mediocre in the second half. And all of a sudden, the narrative around this team was Jimmy Garoppolo looks great, and he's a vet, and he's got this great quick release, and he's going to have a back. When it's like, no, the story is Kyle Shanahan got Trey Lance injured. That's the story. Kyle's poor play calling got Trey Lance injured, and they had to go to Jimmy, who was Jimmy. He wasn't Jimmy Plus. He wasn't Jimmy 2.0. He was Jimmy. Jimmy did Jimmy things. Kyle was the one that was crazy tonight. That went out of his character. Did things he shouldn't have done. Jimmy was himself. Jimmy was classic Jimmy. Kyle, now you can say that was classic Kyle, but that was unacceptable. Jimmy was fine. Jimmy gets a B. Kyle gets an F. Guys, I'm leaving. I didn't have much to talk about today. It was basically a Kyle, Trey, Jimmy discussion. Defense, great. D'Amico, great. Ross Dwelly, nice touchdown catch. Don't give up a block kick. Other than that, see you in Denver. I'll be back tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Got like 300 people, 3,000 people in here. I appreciate you. Keep heart. It's a long season. You never know what's going to happen. I don't know. Sounded good. See you guys.